I just got a ton of cubes from China, including some pretty exciting ones. So, let's unbox them. Let's start with YJ. Here's a snake. Now the question is, can I do this thing? Not too bad. I was also able to get one of their new duet 3s, a Pari. This was a cube I did try there, and honestly, it's pretty solid. The feel is pretty enjoyable, crunchy feeling, but the main thing is this thing's just really stable. Here's another flagship cube, I think. It says there's core magnets in this one. Outside's still a bit frosted. Very swishy sound, but it feels really similar to the V1. Not the most stable. It does have stronger magnets, but it's still locking a little bit. This cube I already made. It's really good, the mini G-Long 4x4, but I always wanted to try the mini 3x3 and 5x5 as well. Alright, 3x3 first. Okay, it's pretty slow. It works actually alright for one-handed. And moves might be hard though. For two-handed, it's fun, but definitely not the optimal size. This is actually really good. Immediately, the smaller size, I'm liking quite a bit. 58mm, but this is such a comfortable size. And it actually turns really well too. Like, no joke, main potential out of the box. A bit slower in the inner layers, but the outer layers are pretty much perfect. But they also have another 4x4 speed micro actuator version. I've heard about this. It's like a washer kind of thing, which should make it a bit faster, which is pretty good because I thought the original MGC 4x4 was a bit too slow. A bit looby on the outside, but whoa. It actually is faster. I think even the insides are faster than the outers. And the outers are really fast too. Wow, this is actually pretty good. This is, I think, better than the original. Speaking of which, this is a cube that a lot of people were excited for. And it's this cube, the new Square-1. Not in its box because I already opened it, but this is the MGC Square-1 speed actuator version. Out of the box, not too impressive, but now it's actually pretty good. I was just doing some solves in this and I got a couple of 4s back to back that were above 4 SPS. So this thing can also turn really fast. It feels pretty similar to the regular MGC, so I think there aren't any major changes other than the speed actuator. I think it was pretty impactful in the 4x4, but on the Square-1 there's only one screw, so it's not as impactful. But I am still enjoying this cube. Let's see how I do on the solve. Honestly, I'll take that. Alright, Moyu cubes. There's also this thing. Might not mean too much to most people, but it's the character Fu in Chinese, which means good luck. I'll put the character here. Maybe you can see some resemblance. Maybe I have to blur it up a little bit. I don't know, but this is really cool. First is another snake. Interesting marketing right there. That's why this puzzle is not for ages 0 to 3, because of this. But if you're above 3, then it should be fine. Whoa, this one looks bigger. This one doesn't turn as well, but it is more colorful. Let me see if I can make this into a ball. Can't make a ball. It's too big. What should I make then? I don't know what this is, but that's what I came up with. Cubes. These are Meilongs. I'm not even sure if these are like Chinese exclusive because I haven't seen these in the US. So I'll leave these aside for now. What I want to try is this thing. I think it's a 20 magnet ball core. This cube's very nice. For those who don't know, I made the V9. I've tried the V10 before and I was pretty impressed, and this cube is no different. Pretty strong auto alignment. The UV coating is nice. Corner twisting seems less prevalent. When I tried it, it felt blocky. Right now it doesn't feel that blocky. It's more stable, smooth. It's a bit fast and loose right now. Could be a main contender. I'm not sure. We'll see. So here's another cube. This is the V10 AI. At time of recording, this is still on pre-order. And when I got this cube was not even released yet. I also tried this at Moyu. It was really good. And this one is no different. Like, it's controllable, not too fast. It's called the V10. And there's a bit of a resemblance with the V10. It's smooth. It's not as blocky though. Probably the best smart cube out there. Just to test the functionality, let's give it a go. Alright, pretty bad solve, but you get some stats here. 71 moves, 6.9 TPS, 6.4 pause. I don't know what that means. But yeah, really nice smart cube. Another popular one though is this one, which is the Qiyi smart cube. One thing about this one though is it's a budget one. No gyroscope. I don't think there's any charging station for it, but much cheaper, like 20 bucks. Alright. The Moyu V10 AI felt pretty similar to the Moyu V10. This one feels not similar to any Qiyi cube at all, I feel like. But it feels good. It's premium and budget at the same time. I can't describe it. It's very stable. Corner cutting is not horrible. When I tried this at Qiyi, I was really impressed with their app. So let's take a look at this. Also not a great solve. I really like the stats they show here. They have a breakdown of all the steps, cross and that longest being F12, OLO, PLO. My fluency was good for everything except for the cross, I guess, which I did mess up. But yeah, this gives a lot of great stats. And I think these are overall stats for average, but I only did one solve. It also predicts your ranking in the world. Interesting. So it predicts I'll be top of 9,000 in the world. Not the most accurate, but interesting. Alright, now for Yuxin puzzles. One of them is this one. They saw my most viewed video ever, and they made sure that I got the 2x2 version as well. And here it is. Cap should come off. And yeah, there it is. The turning actually feels really nice. Not sure how long this will take, but this puzzle doesn't seem too hard. First off, regular 2x2, and then just numbers. On a 3x3, you can twist centers with an algorithm, but on 2x2, there's no center, so you can't do that. So actually, this last step's gonna be really hard, how to twist these two. So this will have to be a DNF, and I might have to make a video on solving this cube because it's clearly not as easy as I thought. Alright, on to some crazier cubes. I don't know the name of these ones, but they look pretty cool. I think these are extensions of Megaminxes, and I think it should solve the exact same as a Megaminx. This one looks pretty similar, but the centers on this cube also have edges, so the center orientation of this cube actually matters. But these guys are even crazier. And they told me the whole motivation of these cubes is their logo, which is pretty much a combination of stars. And that's what this puzzle is. And they were really excited about being the first cube manufacturer that made their own logo into a puzzle, which I have to say looks really cool. There's also this one, which is a pretty crazy puzzle. It has, I don't know how many sides. I'm not sure if I counted correctly, but 24 sides? That's pretty insane. So I think you can turn around these big centers, not around these ones. And I think that makes this a Megaminx mod as well. Because I guess these big things are centers, and there should be 12 of them. But this is going to be a fun one to solve. But this one looks pretty hard. I have a parallel 3x3, which I have solved, but that one took me forever and it was really difficult. This one's the same idea, but in Megaminx form. And you can also do half turns to jumble it up. A bit too scary to scramble this for me, so I think I'll stop. Also got a few puzzles from Fanxin. First off are some of these fruit cubes. I've seen these around a lot at competitions and I always want to get them. This one's just a 3x3, and this banana is a 2x2x3. I also got these guys, dinosaurs. These are also 2x2x3s. Let me see if I can solve it. I think it should solve the same ways as Square-1. Alright. I think it's easier to solve the head. Actually, I think it's like this. Should be pretty close at this point. I think the back is skipped. We just gotta solve the middle now. So just 3 edges, so I think it's just U2M prime U2M. Nice. This is also one of the more popular puzzles that Fanxin makes, the Lego cube. A lot of these companies actually made Legos, so Fanxin combines Legos and a cube, which is cool. I always wanted one of these, and I always liked Legos growing up, so this will be fun. Turning's alright. It just doesn't feel as pleasant having these bricks on your fingers. Alright, and let's open these up. Hopefully after editing, I can make that into a cool transition into a solved cube. Got one of each extra, and here's the cube. Can't wait to make a video on this and get 50 million views. Alright, finally Dian Sheng. First, let's check out some 3x3s, starting with least expensive. Interesting grip. It's kind of frosted, but for a budget cube, this actually turns really well. And it has magnets, obviously. A magnet might be loose, but can't expect too much. This is, I think, their cheapest cube. This one, solar UV coating. Maybe not flagship, but almost. Wow, this feels pretty good. Feels almost like a Moyu cube, like an RS3 one. It's a bit slower, more controllable. I'm not sure what the price is, but it's very comparable with the RS3 for performance. And then for flagship, they have these cubes, so I think these are older. I think their current flagship is this one. Unfortunately, I never had any MS cubes before. Just never got a chance to test them out, so this one will be exciting. That's really nice, actually. Yeah. Interesting box. These are pretty non-traditional cube stands. They actually go on the side, like that. Pretty cool. Looks very premium. Okay, immediately this corner cutting, a bit questionable, and it's not even that tight. Alright, so feels pretty okay, but in terms of performance, I think the other one performed much better out of the box. Yeah, not sure how I feel about this. I do know some top solvers have used MS cubes to get pretty good world-class times. This one so far, not the most impressive. I actually like the other one better. But apparently these cubes are better. This is the Solar 4x4 and 5x5. This one should be a new one that's unreleased, I think. 4x4 is one of my main events, so I'm excited to see if this one's actually good. Felt pretty similar to the one I felt. Not too bad. One thing is it's a bit heavy. Primary internals, which they talked a lot about. This is a really solid Square-4. I don't know the price, but out of box comparison, I think it does match up with stuff like the MGC or the VinCube. Comparing the size, seems a bit smaller. Main complaint right now is it's a bit heavy and a bit big, but this is actually a really underrated 4x4. So I'm excited to also try out the 5x5. Might be one of the first to ever try it. Has an interesting feature where the outer layers are the same as the inner layers. I'm not sure how that would feel, but let's check it out. Okay, first off, this cube is really good. I haven't heard about people using Diansheng big cubes, but pretty underrated. Outer layers, I'm not used to the smaller ones because I do prefer them being a bit bigger for the victory stage. But their whole idea was it makes the cube feel more even. I'm worried about lockups, which it seems to be holding up pretty alright. The turning out the box is actually good. Speaking of big cubes, got some here. These are actual big cubes, 7 centimeters and 9 centimeters, whereas cubes are usually 55 millimeters or 5.5 centimeters. And that's part of their Googol series, which goes up to 10 centimeters, which I don't have. Let's try this one first. Turning is actually really nice. And this one turns pretty similarly to a regular actuator. Yeah, every finger trick I normally do, I can do in this cube. Almost up 10. And then this massive cube, 9 centimeters. This one's definitely a lot harder to handle. You can still do normal finger tricks, but it's gonna start to strain your fingers a little bit. But the funny thing is, I think I've seen someone use this officially. And not as a joke, they actually preferred the larger size. Yeah, not bad, but my fingers are definitely tired after that solve. And we have a few more big cubes. 8x8 and a 9x9. I've never owned big cubes above 7x7, so these will be exciting. Not sure if you can read that, but it says ball core edition. So these cubes not only have magnets, but have a ball core. That's actually ridiculous. And Diansheng is known to have some of the best big cubes of all 7, so excited to try this out. A cube bag and accessories, which I don't really know what it needs. I guess a cube stand. And then here's the cube. That's crazy. 8 layers. Let's try out turning. Not the greatest, it's a big cube, but really good actually for the size. It's a bit on the slower side, and the magnets are actually pretty strong. I think that's a good thing for a cube this big because you don't want misaligned layers, you want them to stay in place, which it does a pretty good job at. I wouldn't say it's fully speed cubable right now, but with setup, possibly. These visible magnets also look so nice. It does corner cut well, but I want to be careful with this. So let's check out the bigger brother, the 9x9. Similar box opening experience. Size comparison, definitely a good amount bigger. Similar turning, a bit slower side, and really strong magnets. Also does corner cut multiple pieces. I'm not going to try much more. But yeah, these are 2 really cool cubes, but there's also this one, Galaxy Gigaminx M. Another cube stand, another bag, and here's the Gigaminx. This is a 5x5 Megaminx, and let's try it out. Wait, this thing turns really well. It's a bit concave. I would have preferred ridges, but this also turns alright. Feels alright in the hand. This is a bit slippery, and you can also see the magnets from the side. But the last thing I want to show is this version of this puzzle, which is clear. To get this, you have to get the full set of, I think, 13 Gigaminxes. So it's kind of crazy that I have this. Also, it's magnetic and it's clear, so you can see the full mechanism and magnets. This one probably turns better for speed solving, but this is going to be a really nice collector's item. I think these are pretty rare around the world. We have quite a lot of cubes. Thanks to all these companies for showing me around and letting me get a few cubes. It'll be pretty fun trying out these a bit more and probably giving away a few of them. Hope you enjoyed this unboxing and thanks for watching. And this is what you get when you unbox over 100 Rubik's Cubes.